Dawson City was the site of the famous Klondike Gold Rush of 1898, and because of its gold rush history, it's one of the most interesting towns to visit in the Yukon. This city was at its biggest during the Klondike Gold Rush, and a lot of people did become wealthy here, but not because of mining gold, but because they owned boarding houses or general stores, and the good business of the miners helped keep them in business and helped them make a lot of money, and it was the capital of the Yukon between 1898 and 1952.
While this little town is full of history that we're super excited to explore, the first thing that we need to do is get some coffee and breakfast. We're starting our morning off at Mammoth Bistro. It's a European-inspired coffee house with a touch of Yukon, and they specialize in Italian-style coffee, and it's a place where locals love to hang out, but we're just here for breakfast and coffee. We got the last breakfast croissant, which is a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant, and I'm going to guess it's really good since they're already out. Let's try it. The croissant is so flaky and crunchy, and then with the bacon, egg, and cheese saltiness, this is a perfect breakfast croissant. The second thing that we got is a prosciutto and pesto sandwich. The bread has such a nice texture, and then with the prosciutto and the pesto and the cheese, the sandwich is like a sandwich made in heaven. It's delicious.
The food was great, the coffee was great, and now that we're all fueled up, we're ready to explore Dawson City and its history. Across town, there are historically significant buildings preserved by Parks Canada. The boomtown-style construction, false fronts, and modest cabins help tell the story of the Klondike Gold Rush and the history of the region. Dawson City was the center of the Klondike Gold Rush. It began in 1896 and changed the First Nations camp into a thriving city of 16,000 to 17,000 people by 1898. During the Gold Rush, Dawson City was the largest city north of Seattle and west of Winnipeg, but by 1899, the Gold Rush had ended and the town's population plummeted to around 8,000 people because gold was found on the beaches of Nome, Alaska. Today, visitors can experience these and other important examples of Yukon history by exploring town with Parks Canada or on their own.
Walking around Dawson City makes me feel like I'm in the late 1800s currently because of how all these buildings have been left here. It's really cool, but also a little mind-blowing.
We're staying inside the old grocery / convenience store where they used to sell a lot of things that you would find on the outside for 2 or 3 times the price. It is now a place where you can learn about the history of Dawson City, and you could probably spend all day just reading all of these different things in here. One thing to notice are the ceilings. They are so low I can literally touch them. And it's just so crazy, like Ashley mentioned, that we are literally standing in buildings that have been here for so long, and a lot of them have been upkept or renovated and they look really good, and the others, not so much.
This stern wheeler behind me represents the primary mode of transportation back in the day. They used to transport people and supplies up and down the Yukon River, and every single winter they'd have to pull them out of the water because the Yukon River froze, and this is an example of what it would look like to be docked on the land. Well, there is a ton of history in this little town. There's also some more history that we want to check out outside the town, and it's only 20 minutes away.
We're at Dredge Number 4, and Dredge Number 4 is one of the largest gold dredges in North America, and it was used to extract gold out of the Klondike River and the Bonanza Creek in the early 20th century gold rush. A gold dredge is a placer mining machine that extracts gold from sand, gravel, and dirt using water and mechanical methods. It takes the dirt from underwater and sorts the gold out of it. This massive dredge is about 2,500 feet long and 65 feet wide, and it was a great piece of machinery and has extracted thousands of ounces of gold during its operational years. It played a significant role in the gold mining industry of the Yukon. Unlike many other dredges that were dismantled and moved, Dredge Number 4 was abandoned in its current location, adding to its historical value. Today, the dredge is preserved as a National Historic Site of Canada, and with its rusty structure against the beautiful Yukon backdrop, Dredge Number 4 has become an iconic symbol of the Gold Rush era, drawing history enthusiasts and photographers from around the world.
I can't get over how big this dredge is. We were talking about how crazy it is that this thing used to move. It didn't move fast and it didn't move far, but the fact that this moved is crazy. It looks like a huge house or something. I don't really know. That was so cool to see with our own eyes. I just cannot get over how big that dredge was. It's definitely a place that you need to stop if you're coming to Dawson City, and we do have a few more things on our list today that are must-sees and do's in Dawson City. On the way back to Dawson City, there's a street sign that says Dome Road, and if you take that road, it will bring you all the way up to the top here, which is Midnight Dome, and the views up here are stunning. You can see Dawson City from above, as well as the Yukon River.
We made our way back into Dawson City to do something that is pretty interesting and something we're not really excited about doing, but it's definitely something we're going to remember forever. Right behind me is the Sourdough Saloon, where we're going to be doing the Sourtoe shot. And the Sourtoe dates back to 1920 during Prohibition, when two brothers were smuggling alcohol across the border and they ran into a blizzard. And during this blizzard, one of the brothers had to step off of his sled and his toe went into ice and slush. And since they thought cops were on their tail, they didn't stop to dry it off, they just kept going. And then further down the snow, or their path, the brother's toe was literally frozen solid. And the other brother, in order to prevent gangrene, took his wood chopping axe and chopped off his toe. Yes, his toe, took it off clean. And to remember the entire experience, they put that toe, a human toe, in alcohol. And I'm only emphasizing the human toe thing because this Sourtoe shot is a shot of alcohol with the toe in it. And since that toe was put into alcohol later in history, they found the toe in a cabin, and then that person took it and started this whole tradition of taking the shot and making the toe touch your lip. Ugh, it's just making me freak out thinking about it. And so we just want to get in here and get it over with, because it sounds crazy, but yes, it's a real human toe with a shot of alcohol, and it's still processing in my head that we're about to do this. It's just crazy.
We just got in here a few minutes ago and we got seated and signed up, and the typical way of taking the Sourtoe shot is with a Yukon Jack, but unfortunately they're out of it, so we are doing vodka instead, and we're just waiting to be called to take the Sourtoe shot. Yeah, it doesn't sound any better than I'm feeling right now. And you cannot take this shot without alcohol. It's a rule if you wanted to do Diet Coke or something different. Not that that would be any better, but you're not allowed to.
Your lips must touch this already too. Just two lips. The deep, the tongue, the tongue. Got it.
Oh gosh. Thank you.
Drink it fast. Drink it slow. But your lips must touch this already too.
Cheers. Woo! Thank you. What number am I? Holy smokes.
What number?
112,381. Welcome to the club. Our last stop here in Dawson City is Diamond Tooth Gerties, and not only is this a spot to gamble, but they also have can-can shows. They have 3 different showings at 8:30, 10, and midnight, and these shows are like the same can-can shows they would show back in 1898 in the saloons. It's $20 per person for a season pass. We're gonna try to make it to all 3, but we are a little bit tired. We're excited to get in there.
even find a seat here. We were actually sitting at the slots, but the first show is over and the second show starts in about 45 minutes, and we actually got this table right near the stage, so much better seats. Just got out of Diamond Tooth Gerties and we went to 2 out of the 3 shows. We were planning on staying for all 3, but honestly at this point it's getting kind of late and we're super tired, so we decided to call it quits at the 2. But it's really cool because it's a non-profit, so all of the money goes back into the city to keep things moving along, and we really enjoyed our time. But from here we're getting ready to drive to Whitehorse, and then we'll be starting our Alaska Highway drive south, and we're super excited to share that with you. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.